Hello, good people of the interwebs. This is the Bad Mini Painter, and today we're going to be painting up our Warlord Titan for Legion Imperialis. This is a model that I have had lying around since release. I don't really believe in the pile of shame, but it was definitely on my to-do list, and it just took a really long time before I actually got to do it. So putting this model together is really not that big a deal. A lot of the Legion Imperialis is kind of fiddly because, well, they're tiny, right? So, of course, there's a lot of fiddly bits that are hard to, well, put together. But it's not the case with this model. It's fairly big. Normally, I do not do the sub-assembly thing, but I actually did that here. Because all of the armor plates really get in the way of painting the bodywork, and also a lot of the armor plates are actually hard to get to due to other armor plates. So I kind of followed the instructions and I left all the armor plates on the sprues. Well, almost all of them. Some of them it would be hard to get on afterwards. So it had to make sense in some way, shape or form. So this is not an airbrush video, but you can do this with a brush. But I decided to use my airbrush for adding the first layer of paint, which was lead belcher, and that's all over the body. So I could have thinned the lead belcher down quite a bit, gotten my large Citadel base brush out, and just slapped it on. I also decided to give the back part of all the armor plates a layer of lead belcher as well. And next, Evil Sun Scarlet for the red armor plates. I'm going to darken these down quite a bit, so I decided to go with a fairly bright red, not to dull it completely. I wanted the model to look dirty, that was kind of the look I went for. So a thin coat of Evil Sun Scarlet. And I could have done this with a brush as well, but I had the airbrush out and I'm lazy. Next, Corvus Black for the other part of the armor plates. So I'm going for black and red, which you probably saw on the thumbnail, come to think of it. Then I go in with white from AK Interactive, and I add that as a base color for the plasma thing. See, I'm blanking out. I can't remember what it's called. Well, for that. And also, I also gave the head a layer of white. I just lost that recording because I'm smart. Then I go in with Corvus Black to fill out some of the armor plates that I left on the model. And well, the good thing is, at this point there's no reason to be overly careful, because all the surrounding plastic things on the model, I'm going to give a layer of brass. So as long as I don't hit the body with this, it's fine, because all the rims are going to get a layer of this brass gold thing. And brass from AK Interactive, it kind of looks like Retributor armor, only a little bit darker, I would say, but it has the same quality as Retributor armor from Citadel. Except it's from AK Interactive, which means that it flows really nicely off the brush. And I go all over the model, painting all the rims. I also select parts on the body of the Titan and give that a little bit of brass. That's basically just to add variation. And all the rims on the armor plates. Now, this is not a model that demands a lot of colors, but it takes a long time to paint because it has so many time-consuming details. Now, I want this to look rough, so I decided to stab on some Iron Breaker from Citadel to make it look like the paint has chipped off here and there, wherever I imagined that the armor would be scraped or hit by anything. And I basically just load up a dry brush, wipe a lot of it off, and stab it. Stab, 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 stab. You can do this with a sponge as well. I just find it easier to control with a dry brush, a soft dry brush. The problem with this is that I'm pushing the paint into the dry brush, so that cleaning up is fairly difficult. I give everything a layer of oiled earth. A lot of it. I slap it up on fairly thick. Also because when it dries, it doesn't darken down that much. But it has this oily, grimy quality to it. So it's quite brilliant if you want something to look like it's been through battle. Like it has been inflicted by smoke and grime and stuff like that would be in the air on a battlefield. I gave the same treatment to all the armor plates, also the black ones. And now it's time to do something with the plasma thing. Colossal blue contrast paint from Citadel will be my base layer. And I'm trying to be careful to not hit the lead bedsure parts, because that's basically not what I want. I considered trying to do a low effect, and then I realized that I'm not that good. So, yeah. Then I dry brush some pastel blue over it. I think Blue Horror from Citadel is the closest equivalent. And basically what I do is I dry brush from each end to the other, and fairly heavy. Then I go in with white, and I do it more focused around the middle and lighter, so the layer is not quite as heavy, and it gives a pretty nice look, I think. It's a decent result. Then there's nothing left but slapping on all the armor plates. I use super glue for that, and this is the finished result. So it's a really simple model to paint. You don't have to involve a lot of different paints in order to get a decent result, or having it look, well, definitely battle ready, but actually look kind of good. But it takes a long time to paint because it has, well, it just have a lot of square mileage. There's a lot of areas to cover. So all in all, I will say it was a fun paint job, and I'm happy with the result. But yeah, anyhow, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. It's quite motivating for me. Have an awesome weekend, or an awesome day, depending on when you're watching this, and I will see you soonish.